know there's watermelon in there somewhere. I ruined that.
I'm gonna have to go for another. I'm gonna have to go for another taste. So welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But you probably should. You probably are. And that's why we like you. On today's episode, it's a very limited edition episode. We're drinking Four Roses Limited Edition 2021. But not enough about that for now. Let's talk about a little business. I've got a project for you. I haven't done the bean cam for a while. We got to bring the bean cam back. I
should bring that one can that I got that was like probably half a gallon can.
Yeah, into a 1/6 gallon size pot. That was impressive.
Yeah.
But well, I want to bring the bean can back, but I want to have something worthy to bring the bean can back.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And we have on this show, I just want to, it's about that community. And we've got a community built of great parents. And I want to have just a little contest, a little coloring, a little drawing contest. If your child listens to the show with you, or you value us enough, could you send the boys a picture?
Yeah, send us a pic.
Just message us a picture of a kid's
Instagram
drawing.
Or chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com.
And we'll print that off and we'll post it on the bean cam and we'll give you a shout out. And then you'll tell your friends, like, hey, grandma, watch this podcast. You'll see
you're on national television
picture on the YouTube. And then you share the show.
And extra points if you involve Robby and I in the drawn picture.
Well, I was just gonna say the picture, like if you could have just something about the show.
Yeah.
It could be one of your favorite moments from the show. It could be just beans in general. Your kid drawing a picture of themselves eating beans, or just drawing beans, or maybe
we're talking to you, Chloe and Zoe.
It's been we just got past Father's Day. Maybe just a picture your kid drew of you drinking your favorite whiskey. I don't care. I just want to get a picture for the bean cam, a reason to really feel motivated with the bean cam up, and a reason for you to share the show with your relatives and say, hey, check out Herfer Nerfer's picture. Aren't they sweet?
Yeah.
So that's that.
That's business.
That's the business. Here's the show. Cole, how you doing, buddy?
Doing okay.
Big
I've talked in the past about how I've given up caffeine for the sake of my mental health, and I realized that I am basically allergic to caffeine. I have bad mental anxiety reactions to caffeine, so I just completely cut it out of my life. And every now and then I will get something from Starbucks, but of course I'll get a non-caffeinated or decaf version of the thing that I want. But every now and then, and I know this from working at a coffee shop before, that every now and then you'll forget that they said decaf and you accidentally pour them a caffeinated shot. Do I blame them? They should just be more careful because I could tell that I was caffeinated this morning, and it's just hits my heart. I don't know, my heart is racing, and I had it this morning. We're recording at my time, almost 2:00, and it's just everything just affects me when I'm very anxious. I just think of I wonder what that guy thinks of me, or and it's normally I'm I don't give a crap what that guy thinks about me. But when I'm anxious, it's everything.
I know what you think about me.
Yeah. No, I give a crap what you think about me.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I'm a little anxious, but I'm actually on the back end, it seems. I think the caffeine is still fading out, which is better than this morning. I felt a little strong. Just feelings, I guess, altogether, which sucks. I don't want to be so, adverse reaction to certain things, but that's the reason I don't take caffeine. So, do I think anyone else should drink? I think you should drink caffeine if you're into caffeine.
Don't you
but not for
take
me.
That away from me.
Yeah. So I'm excited for today's episode, though. Otherwise, Beck had her birthday.
Yeah. How was the party?
Tuesday it was her birthday, and then the party was yesterday. Tuesday we went around and just had fun. We went to a Build-A-Bear and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I just had a good time with her, and that was just mommy and daddy and Beck. And then yesterday was the birthday party. It went well. I think it was well planned by Heather. And we had lots of we had ice cream. It was ice cream themed, and she was she was a little overwhelmed. What's that?
Does she love ice cream, or was it just we're just gonna do ice cream?
We actually introduced her to anything substantially sweet this week. for the first time in her life. So we've been doing a good job. But I think she likes ice cream.
Who wouldn't?
I don't know if we've ever actually given her ice cream though. We've given her cake, but at this point this week. So, but she'll fall in love just like her mama. So.
See, I had no idea that was like a thing till my first niece was born, Sophie, and we went to her first birthday party, and I'm like, I don't know, you give kids ice cream. So my sister was like so excited because on her birthday party, it was gonna be like first time she ever had like processed sugar kind of thing and ice cream.
Yeah, totally.
And it was like 2 days before her birthday, day before her birthday, and I was eating a mochi, and she was sitting by me and go, "You want a bite of my mochi?" And I gave her a little bite of my mochi, and my sister was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What am I doing?"
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm proud of us. We waited a full year before giving her processed sugar. So I'm
proud of the grandparents because it's like, or the uncle.
We had to
mistaken. They're like, yeah, and that's hard.
Well, my nephew gets talk about caffeine. My nephew gets sweet tea every time he's with the grandparents, and he's like 3.
Your parents or Heather's parents?
Heather's parents, because it's a Southern thing. And we basically said like, in no situation ever are we going to allow her.
Please don't do that.
Just mostly for the caffeine. I'm mostly okay with the sugar to an extent. But the caffeine is like
some sweet tea is a little over the top.
Yeah, no, there's
not enough tea.
But like if it were anything, it'd be for the caffeine. That I'm like, I don't want her to have some sort of hereditary adverse reaction to affect her mental condition. So,
my dad.
We'll figure it out later, but I'm not going to figure that out in the first 15 years of her life if I can help it.
Well, it's not necessary either. Plus, like, oh my gosh. I mean, like Amara is a good sleeper. I remember the first time, like, gosh, I can't remember, like we were at a birthday party or something. She was like 6, and they gave her whoever was hosting the parties gave her a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want, and I was like, it was at a party where I was like, I don't want to like freak out and be like, she can't have, like, I don't know. It was a weird situation. You don't want to
make a scene.
So and I was like, well, she's also like 6 or 7, so it's not a big deal. But she was up all night, like.
That's great. You're like trying to get her to go to sleep.
That's the other thing.
Like,
was like
questions and stuff.
Yeah, the other thing is like you don't know how they're going to react with caffeine. Like my dad would get in trouble. He would give Sophie like my sister's kids like just regular Coke drinks of his regular Coke.
Wait, did it have cigarettes in it?
It probably not. This time he had stopped smoking, so no.
Oh, okay. One for old time's sake.
Yeah. I still got the laughing cough, man.
Yeah. So you've had a week. We can skip to you. You've had a week and a half or so.
It's down with the sickness. Ooh, man. Wow. Hopefully this is the last edition of that for a while. No, so I tested positive on Tuesday, something like that.
First of both of us. Even though I had it, I never tested positive.
No, I was pretty excited though, because I'm like, okay, like I knew I'd be like, I just wanted, like, I probably have COVID, but I really want to make sure I had it, right? Like, I'm like, that makes me talk about anxiety. Like, okay, like I got a couple trips planned this summer. Like, I'm going to Vegas, and we're gonna go to like visit my grandma in Nebraska, and like, I just like it'd be nice to not worry about getting COVID again. So, but yeah, no, it like it's still Chelsea's still. Like she's got some chest stuff. Like she's a little worried. Like hopefully it doesn't go into pneumonia. But like, and she can't taste. I never lost my taste, so that's good.
Whoa! I didn't even know that was still a thing.
I didn't think it was either. And she's like she can't taste it. Like if she eats something spicy, she's like it tastes like full on spice to her.
That's it. Yeah.
And like some like her favorite bubbly water, she's like it just tastes like rubber and it's disgusting. So I'm like, ugh. Glad. I know. I'm like I didn't think that was a thing. I don't want to. I'm glad I didn't get that. And like the other day she's like for lunch she's like, well, I guess I'll just make myself healthy stuff because it doesn't matter how so she's like she like boiled some lentils and like threw some steamed veggies in it, and she's like, you want some? Like there's no sauce in it. I don't want it. Like, I don't want that. But yeah, no, like I had one day where it was like I was just shut down. I was done. Like I just stayed in bed all day. And that was the worst of it. And Chelsea had about 2 days like that. So it hasn't been a great week. And like so then here's the other thing. So the twins, like we came back from Mexico where it's just kind of like spoiled. It's like, okay, yep, we'll get you a virgin pina colada whenever you want. Like we're on vacation and it's paid for, right? And like, oh, dinner time, you can pick what you want. Like there's hamburgers, there's chicken. Like it was, you know, spoiled time. And like on the trip, it's like you do anything you can to keep them like shut up on the airplane. Like don't ruin everyone else's flight. Like, okay, here's another fruit snack. Like that sort of thing. So like we're dealing with
Vacation's over.
We're dealing with the come down from that. Then they both got sick, and theirs was about probably about like 36 hours, and they were good, like fevers and stuff, so it wasn't too bad. And then in 4 days, so on the 30th is their birthday, and so they're kind of like ready to be spoiled again. So like we're just kind of in the throes of like we got to reestablish the real world here, you know. So no,
this isn't every day. This is a special day.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's tricky because like, and then on top of it, like they're gonna be 5, and so we're kind of entering a new like zone of like discipline where it's like know better, and the consequence of like a small consequence, isn't it? So it's like today I texted you, I was like, I might be a little late because I'm going on a walk. Well, we get halfway through the walk and Juniper's like, I want to go to the park. And I'm like, hey, maybe later. We got to finish the walk.
Toenails for now.
Get Moose on the walk, and when we get home, you can ask Mom. Yeah, I gotta go drink with my friend. Jeez, what's your problem?
Yeah.
That is how it was, and that does sound bad.
It's not bad. Said, we have people to entertain, Robby.
That being said, when I felt minus that one day, I've taken him for a walk every day, and we stop at the park, and I do it most every day. So it was a little bit, and I was like, hey, when you get home, you can ask Mommy. Mommy might be able to take you to the park. And like it's turned into like the second big fit of the day, and I was like, listen. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so if you throw this fit, you don't get to go swimming at Uncle John's house, and there's no screens the rest of the day. And she was kind of like, oh, I kind of called my butt, but she came home. So we kind of walked short. We come home, and like I told Chelsea, like, this is what I told her. And she goes, that sounds great. And then when Mom said it, she was like, oh. So it's interesting. It's like we're entering that new phase of like, it's not just, oh no, we don't do that. Say sorry. It's like, okay, now we gotta be like, I don't know. So I
respect that.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
I gotta say, a situation that happened yesterday at Beck's birthday party. So Beck got this really cool like ice cream cart for babies, and it's super cool.
Is it like have like a magnetic thing? Like, is it a Fisher Price ice cream cart?
Yeah. It's got like
we had the same one. Yeah, and
it
puts in it, tells you which one they want. It is really cute,
and like what the order is and stuff like that. Yeah, and the scoop is magnetic. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That's great.
But
did we just bond over Fisher Price ice cream?
I know, right? Carts? Like, no, I looked at it. I was like, this is a fun toy right here.
It is, yeah.
But there was this other girl that was at the party, young. She had to be not even 3, but she kind of took over that while Beck was playing with it, but she kind of like pushed her out of the way, like butted her out of the way while she was doing it. And at one point, Beck got up to play, and she pushed Beck down in front of everybody. But not many people actually saw it except for me and this one other guy. And I'm like,
did the kid's parents see it?
The parent didn't see it, no. I'm like, what do you do? Like, and for me, I was like, hey, let's not push. And I was like, but if you do it again, little girl, like I will have something to say. But I'm like, what do you do in that situation? And I like hate it. And it literally did not help my anxiety today. Thinking about it today, where I'm like, dang it, like not a stupid kid. Like, don't get me wrong.
In that moment, that's
frustrated. Like, I was like, don't bully my daughter. And like,
well, that's the thing is like, there's people that we've hung out with that we don't really hang out with because their parents don't watch their kids, and that's the thing is like you shouldn't be put in that position. But like typically when stuff like that would happen, it'll be like, oh no, we don't do that, and it's just be like, hey, like, could you keep it, like, which is an awkward conversation. You're like, hey, could you keep an eye on your kid?
Yeah, for sure. And I've been there. I'm not going to name any names of my life, but there are some kids that I'm just like, they have zero consequences for their actions. And I hate being around them. I'm not even kidding by saying the word hate. It's hate awful. Being around those kids because I'm like, you can't do a thing. There's nothing they don't even, and the worst part, I feel bad for the kid because they don't know what good is.
Well, and then you see them. Yeah. And that's where it comes in later where it's like, you feel bad because then they don't really have friends because kids don't want to play with them. Yeah.
And their poor parents don't even give them enough attention to show them some. I don't want to use the word discipline. Show them consequences of their actions. Just
even boundaries. Like, hey, no, we don't.
Yeah,
do
boundaries. Great way to put it.
We don't do that. We don't treat people like that. When people treat you like that,
it takes investment to show boundaries, and a lot of parents won't even give that investment.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Like,
sucks. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing about parenting is you have boundaries for your child,
Totally,
and you give them love, like love and boundaries. Like, no, you can do this, but you can't do that. Once you do that, we're done. Like, kids just. I think
and I respect you
kids
guys.
need consistency. Kids need consistency.
Absolutely. They need it's like it sounds dumb, but at dog training, if you're every other time when something happens when you're training a dog and you're gonna call it out every other time, it's worthless.
Yeah.
But children are much more advanced than dogs, but still consistency is the name of the game. And I'm only a parent for a year.
Not my dogs. My dogs are dumb, but there's other people's dogs that are smarter than most kids.
How are the dogs, by the way?
Dude, so since we've been back in Mexico, Moose has been going on a 3/4 mile walk every day.
Wow, is he
and
losing
by the
weight?
end of it, not yet, but he is done by the time we get home. So
I can see that.
So and then Bo is like, but it's so cute. The girls love Bo. Like, kids just need dogs, in my opinion. I'm not trying to pressure you, Cole.
I need dogs. Dogs.
Kids need dogs, and like they love Bo, and they play, and like as soon as Bo shows up, they're like, Bo. It's like this high pitched Bo, and they like, it's great, and he loves them, and he'll like. Truth be told, like he loves Finley most because Finley is gentle and calmer. So he'll go up and like he just cuddles her and stuff.
Juniper shows up. He's like, okay.
She's gotten better. She is pretty good with him. She understands. Yeah,
I can see that. Like,
she wants to pick him up all the time. Is the problem?
Talk about boundaries.
Yeah.
Healthy boundaries.
Have them.
Any other thoughts before we get into history?
No,
and such like
I'm
that?
ready.
I feel like this has been a very good shooting the breeze.
Are you feeling better? I'm
feeling a lot better.
Good.
I'm talking with one of my besties, and we're drinking some good whiskey. And what more could a man ask for besides his gal?
I do want to say real quick, last thing before we take a walk here, Cole. Listeners, Cole considers his homies, and he poured one out for you today. We're getting started. Cole's like, hey, I got to get my entry buzz. And he accidentally poured. I go, you got Elijah Craig? He goes, yeah. And he poured and goes, it's the one that we did for the drink along. And I go, and he goes, wait, this is the one we're gonna do for the drink.
It's
the one we're gonna do for drink along. So we poured because of our Patreon listeners, our homies. He's like, I don't want to drink this without them. So he poured it back in the bottle. So literally, Cole poured one for the homies today. For the homies. For sure. There you go. So
I still love that phrase. I saw a meme that was like, when doctors have to do a shot, like an injection with a syringe, and they flick it and pour a little bit out for the homies. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go for a quick walk. Robby's second of maybe 3 for the day.
I'm ready to rope into another.
Yeah, exactly. But this time we won't make attitudes.
No tudes.
So no attitudes on this walk.
No tudes for these dudes.
We'll talk about the history of limited editions from Four Roses, as well as a little bit of Four Roses history, as well as a few other things, and then we'll drink. But before we do anything, let's go to a quick walk. Break. And we're back.
I don't want to be back. I want to be at the park.
I know.
I want to be at the park.
Nice while it lasted.
I didn't get to go to the park.
Hey, we need to have good boundaries. So, no attitudes, Robby. We get that from Amara. And like, are you having good attitudes right now, or something? I feel like that's what you guys used to say with Amara, and like Heather and I say that to each other.
Good attitude. Yeah.
Do we have a good attitude?
No, they caffeinated me. I got dropped bean. The wrong kind of bean. Not a Bush's bean.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the most delicious beans.
Not the Bush's baked beans. Yeah. Those are the right kind of beans to overdose on.
Have you ever looked into the decaffeination process?
Yes, it's very interesting.
It's crazy.
There are a few methods of doing it.
Yeah.
There's the carbon dioxide method, and I think they call it the water method otherwise. So
the water method, I think, is the weirdest.
Yeah. Like, how do you not steep? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Look it up, peeps.
Do they steep Four Roses limited edition?
No, but we'll get into that. They steep it in barrel, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay.
In charred oak barrel. So
yummy.
Before I get into the history, big shout out to
charred
Brian
oak makes me broke.
Of Arizona for sending us the sample we're drinking today, as well as a few others. But today we're drinking the Four Roses limited edition of 2021. And happy birthday recently, Brian Rapp. So cheers.
Man. For sure.
This is our or as Robby likes to this is our 4th episode with the Four Roses bourbon on the podcast. The first was episode 38. We drank an OESQ single barrel strength. Episode 102, we drank small batch select. And episode 187, we drank another single barrel strength, which was the OESF. In the future, we actually do have an OESK coming up.
Okay.
But we'll figure out when to do that in the future. So we at that point, we would have had 3 out of the 5 OE varieties or OES varieties, the strains of yeast. So this is our first limited edition release from Four Roses, though. So we talked a lot about the history of the distillery in episode 187. So if you haven't listened to that or are interested in actual distillery history, feel free to listen to that episode. More so, Four Roses is in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. They basically only make bourbon. But some of you are like, whoa, those purists out there are like, whoa, Cole, there might be a rye involved. That was before Seagram's bought out the brand / distillery in the 1940s.
That sounds like a factual accuracy.
What's that?
That's a factual accuracy. This
podcast
is full of
inaccurate. Yeah.
But we still, and let's get to the point. No meandering.
Sorry, right to the point. So anyway, in the 1940s was when it was changed, but they did have a rye whiskey option back then. But Seagram's, when they bought out the distillery, which was originally the old Prentice Distillery, they basically retired the Four Roses brand for the most part. And then when Kirin, the Japanese brewing company, bought out Four Roses.
No, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, no. In 2002, rather, they really ramped up production for Four Roses once again, but no rise seen in many, many years from Four Roses. They're a bourbon company. But according to their website, they started doing limited edition releases in 2016. And here's an inaccuracy that some might call up as well, is that's not exactly true. I know what some people are thinking. They've been doing special limited series and releases a lot longer than that. And yes, they're including bottles like the 2007 40th anniversary of Jim Rutledge, which we have on the shelf, actually, which we're going to do one day. It's a 2007 release. That was a Brandon Hunt joint right there. Also, the 2009 Mariage, which I believe is it's marriage with one R, but it's the French spelling of marriage or whatever. Something
marriage.
Like Mariage.
It's what marriage. It's what brings us together today.
Yes, today. But that's 2009, the marriage collection. And then in 2014, they had a limited edition. And definitely there's more than that. Like you could look into pretty much every year, but on their website, it only goes back to 2016, which is weird. What I've known from past episodes, and what you should know if you've listened to the past episodes, is that Four Roses makes 10 recipes, 2 mash bills, 5 yeast strains, and their combinations. And remember OESF and OESQ and OBSV and all that, all those codes, those are the unique codes for each recipe. But the cool thing about these limited editions is that they're usually blends of these recipes at high ages, but sometimes it's just one of the recipes at a good solid, teenage age. For example, in 2016, there was Elliott Select. There were 2 releases in 2016, but one was Elliott Select. And that was a limited edition. That was a 13-year OESK only. And so there was only one type of barrel, and it was 116.8 proof. And I forgot to mention, every limited edition release is cask strength and not chill filtered. Hey, that's not the name of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Also, sometimes there are more than one limited edition per year. Like I mentioned, 2016 had 2. But they are always labeled differently. Like you won't get like you got Elliott Select and then the limited edition small batch 2016 or something like that. 2017. Here's another example. There was the Al Young 50th anniversary bottle, and that was a blend of 12 up to 23-year bourbons from OBSV, OBSK, OBSF, and OESV at 107.6 proof. And almost lastly, 2020, or 2 years ago, their limited edition small batch was a 12 to 19-year blend of OBSV, OBSK, OESV, and OESK barrels at 111.4 proof. And now what we're drinking today, the range, the 2021 release of the small batch, the range of ages on this bottle are 12 to 16 years. And specifically, this is featuring a 16-year-old bourbon from OBSV, a 14-year-old OBSQ, a 12-year-old OESK, and then a 16-year-old OESV. It is barrel proof at 114.2. Beautiful bottle, in my opinion. It's basically, it looks like the regular small batch bottle, but it's like classier and got a little bit more crystal action going down. Non-chill filtered. Hey, that's not the name of the podcast.
Not the name of the podcast. Yeah,
still not. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier. Always rye bourbon. They do not produce wheated bourbons. The B mash bill is 35% rye in the bourbon mash bill, and then the E mash bill is 20% rye in the bourbon mash bill. Total wine price, well, at least let's say the original retail was $150 per bottle. But it's very rare, and I've seen it go on secondary in the range of like 800 sometimes.
So we're pretty lucky
thanks again,
today.
Brian, for sharing.
Brian,
yeah,
friggin' baller. Thanks.
What
Brian.
a G. So, let's pour this out, but not for the homies, for us.
Not for the homies. For my Tomies. Our tummies.
Yeah, Tomies.
Tomies. Man, you know what that reminds me of? Songs that have horrible rhyming patterns when they're trying to go for a rhyming pattern. And I think my least favorite song is, what's his face? Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away.
Okay,
fly so high, like a butterfly, like that.
Yes, I've thought that myself.
Or something. No, there's something else in there too.
In the sky, flying very high, no matter.
Like at some point he rhymes
the
fly
same word
with butterfly
or the same
or
phrase
something like
with
that.
the same phrase.
Exactly.
That's
and the other thing is Everclear's "I will buy you a new car."
Perfect, shiny, and new.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you get a blue car? Like, make it perfect, shiny, and blue, not perfect, shiny, a new car, perfect, shiny, and new. Like,
so here's mine. I don't like using this word, so I'm going to replace it with bore instead of the one that starts with a W. But it's Paramore's Misery Business. And she goes, once a bore, you're nothing more. Or no, she goes, sorry, honey, that'll never change. Once you're a bore, you're nothing more. That'll never change. She rhymed a phrase, not just a word, with a phrase.
Can I tell you that I think I read an article about that, and she doesn't sing that anymore. Like when she sings it live, she won't. Sing that line anymore.
She skips that word. She finds it too offensive, apparently.
Okay.
I could find a lot worse things on the radio these days.
Now, when I say that word, I say hooer.
Which is totally okay if you pronounce it that way.
I go on tour like a hooer.
Booer, you're nothing more. Man. I sniffed it, but I didn't even think about it when I was sniffing it.
Man, so I think, I might be out of my latex phase. That's what I texted Cole too. I was like, when I get COVID, I'm like, hopefully the only smell and taste that kills is my latex notes. I'm getting a little minty again.
Oh,
I don't know. You get any mint? No?
No mint for me.
I guess slight mint, pretty vapory. Little berries.
Berries. I'm getting like red berries.
Getting like
and blackberries.
Mixed berries.
Yeah, a mixed bag.
That was my first fit of the day. Junie gets hangry, and I was like trying to fight off hangriness. And I go, hey, let's go make some smoothies. And she goes, I want a watermelon smoothie. Like, we don't got any watermelon. You know we have it somewhere. And I was like, dang.
Gosh. Junie is so special. I love her.
Dude, she's entertaining to say the least.
If you can back yourself away from the situation, it's hilarious.
We started calling those JRs, Junior moments. Junior for Juniper Rampage. Like, she just
nice.
Goes full bore, man. Anyway, no watermelon on this either. Lots of berries, and then like I get a little milk, and it's pretty vapory. So I'm gonna go for a sip.
You know, there's watermelon in there somewhere, Robbie. I ruined that.
I'm gonna have to go for I'm gonna have to go for another taste because I like actively had to keep that from coming out my nose. Ooh!
While you sip another, I will talk about the color. As some can see on the YouTube viewership, I would call that a coppery orange.
Ooh, I would call it a rusted terracotta. This is it's 114 proof. Which just makes me think of old Granddad 114. This feels hotter than that for sure. Like on the back end, it's real short, but like on the back end, like which maybe it might have to do something with me trying to keep it from coming out my nose. Is it got really bright with just like heat? I like that so far. I'm gonna go for a second sip. Cool. Don't make
before you sip. When did it get bright with heat? At the beginning or the end?
I guess end of the middle.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, like towards the end, it like got really sharply like.
But then it was
great.
But then it wasn't there anymore. Like it's just like sharp, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. It's like when it's like when you get mugged and you're going down an alley and someone stabs you. And like, hope the hospital takes care of you. Bye.
As they pull the knife back out.
Yep.
Yeah. I love it. It's hard for me to like actually pinpoint a few things, but I'm getting those berries, but not as dense. The sweetness is like white sugary. It's like a refined sugar on the sweetness of it, as opposed to like a fruity sugar or potentially like a brown sugar or like anything like that. It's very clean. I would call this a very crisp bourbon. Yeah,
very crisp. That time I don't know if it's because mouthfeel with the heat. This is like a great heat because it really is. It gets very bright and then it just dissipates slowly. Like that time it lasted longer than the first sip I took.
I have a feeling that this won't taste as good with water. So I'm enjoying the neat. Something's telling me this is going to get bitter. But I might be wrong.
You never know. But I will say, very crisp. The sweetness is bright in that, but light. It's still pretty. How do I describe that? Like, it definitely is like a white granulated kind of a sugar. But it's not like too sweet. I think when you say like granulated sugar, white sugar, you think too sweet and very like,
it's not.
Like you're drinking simple syrup almost. This is just like
just sweet enough.
Like you barely lick your pinky, put it in some sugar, put it on your tongue. You're like, oh, that is pleasant.
Few granules, or should I say granules?
All right, I'm gonna do a drippity drop.
Yeah, I just dropped, giving it the old spin J, the old Matt job,
the old swirly poo.
Great nose. I think the nose is improved actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's a
good nose though.
Slight sweet corn. In a good way.
It's definitely sweeter. Like I don't know if I don't think it necessarily the corn, but I do get the sweetness of like I'm still like maybe it's just because I'm thinking like white sugar, granulated sugar. Like that's the kind of sweetness I'm still getting, but it is brighter. It's more in the front.
I think you're right too, and I think there's like a candy sweetness a little bit to me on the nose,
almost like a cotton candy, right? Not necessarily like with the flavoring, but like the spun sugar. That's kind of where it's at. That's what I want to say. Okay, that's where it's at because spun sugar, like if you don't have like the flavoring in it, a spun sugar is delicately sweet. Right? And that's kind of
it'll just melt in your mouth.
Yes.
And so I actually just tasted it with the water. No bitterness. really good. And you're right. The note of like cotton candy is there, spun sugar. And that's the thing too about like spun sugar. It's like you could throw a ton in your mouth, but usually it's just like it's so spread out that it's not that much sugar at once. So it wisps away in a really good way. There is I don't know if I'm gonna say there's a slightly weird aftertaste, because I don't know if that's just me right now. I'll go for my last sip of the water and I'll determine this.
I will say, I think neat is definitely better. Water's not bad. I did get like a moment where the sweetness wasn't there. I don't want to say it was bitter, but the sweetness wasn't as pronounced at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Still good. It's still the heat, it kind of has that quick heat and gone thing. And yeah, no, it's not bad with water. It's just not as good as neat.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would say it's still great bourbon. But yeah, I think neat beat it on the palate for sure. I'm going to drop a cube. Hey, bus driver, drop that cube.
Oh, no, that has some good sound to it.
Hey, hot porter.
Ooh, hot porter.
Nothing like a good hot porter. Fire in the hole. Give it the old spin J. I like Matt Porter. That's all I'm going to say. He's so funny to watch.
I'm going to say a little bit more. We're trying to set up a few shows this summer.
Yeah.
Just get some guests. So we got a couple guests on the line. We're doing a classic chill filtered way of poorly organizing and thinking things through. Totally. But we've got some messages out to some folks. We're looking to set up some shows, and Matt is one of them. And hopefully it comes soon.
And we'll do a better job this time. Last time there was some audio issues on our last Matt Porter episode. Yeah, there was a lag, and it like killed me because I was like, I wish it wasn't a lag here.
Well, that was when we just did. We didn't use StreamYard then, did we?
No, we didn't. We were doing Zoom and recording. We were doing Zoom and like literally like everyone recorded their own, including Matt. So it was probably a pain to put together in terms of editing, and we didn't edit it at that point.
Thanks, John.
John did okay on that one. He did great on a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's like trying to make a clay pot out of a pile of poo. It's gonna be tricky.
Yeah, but like I said, John did a great job. I was very grateful to have John.
It was just what we're talking. Well, we're talking. We're hopefully this summer get an episode with Mr. Hughes. John Hughes, and we're also got Connor from Who Gives a Dram and Bourbon with Friends.
And
so those are the two. Try to set up right there, and then we'll see. We'll see where we go. All right,
maybe we'll bring in the Grease again. We'll see.
I'll reach out. I don't know if we're at that caliber to get him back.
Hey, he joined us. Before. Why would he not again? He told us. He said those guys were. He said something along the lines of like those guys were genuine guys about us. I don't remember when I heard that, but he's like those guys. They're genuine guys. I don't know what that means.
Genuinely
doofuses.
Genuine doofuses.
That was a nickname in college, actually.
I tried to talk when I took my drink.
Nose is the same for the record. It's not
Nose
as
is dead,
but it's still good.
Nose is dead for me. First sip, not bad with ice. The it's real. It's got that sweetness up front, a little more bourbony, appley at the front. Like
you're right.
Maybe berry like in the front.
A little bit of oak.
That sweetness, and then this is like be one of my favorite like heat wise mouthfeels because like this changed a little bit. Like you didn't get the heat for a while, and then all of a sudden it showed up, stabbed you, said good luck at the hospital, and
walked away. Pulled the knife out, walked away.
Yeah. So I don't know. The heat wise, this is great. I think this is a great.
I agree. This is a great refreshing ice pour for a bourbon.
This is a great summer one, man. This is a great summer whiskey. It's I don't know price point wise if this would be your got done.
Maybe not throw ice in it, kind of. Yeah.
You could. I think you can definitely go that route and try it.
Yeah.
Brian, if you just try it real quick. I don't know, just a little bit. I would definitely say neat is the best pour so far.
I'd agree. Yeah. I think water, or rather ice, is a little risky, but it's not better, but it's still good.
When it goes, ice is a little risky when you put it in your whiskey because it's a little risky in the whiskey.
You rhymed that perfectly. I saw what you did there.
But I use the same phrase.
Full circle.
Yeah.
See. Yeah.
I kind of like this with ice. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, so this is really crisp. It's like mellow on the sweetness. It like if you had access and a couple bottles on the shelf, like it wouldn't be bad. Like on a back porch, and in the middle of summer, throw some ice in it if you just want something nice, refreshing, and crisp. Yeah. That being said, at the price point and the availability, I'm not going to do that because that's not the man I am.
And it's one of those things that's like a classy pour. Getting a Four Roses limited edition is pretty baller status. So yeah, I'm gonna be drinking. If I had more of this, which I have, probably 3/8 of a bottle left, I will be drinking it neat after this. So I'm gonna formulate a rating on this side, and I think I know what I want it to be. You
all right? I think I know where I'm at.
Okay, cool.
You want me to go first? You want to go first? You go first?
I can go first. 9.04. I do believe this broke 9 status. I think it's great. I think the greatest note that I enjoyed the most was the cotton candy. It was altogether good, especially on the neat pour. It was just altogether a good bourbon. Very clean, crisp, and sugary in a great way. The apple notes were there, but it was overshadowed by a general sweet but not too sweetness. I enjoyed that a lot, and so 9.04. Definitely, it was close to. I might even go as high as a 9.1, but I'm gonna stick with my guns here. Say 9.04.
All right, so we're close, except for I'm getting rid of your tenths. I'm gonna go 9. No, it goes tenths, hundredths. I'm getting rid of your tenths. I'm going
9.04 is a hundredth.
Well, I'm getting rid of your 10th place, and I'm going 9.4.
Okay. I like that.
This a lot. This is really good.
You subtracted 9, multiplied by 10, and then added the 9 back.
Yes, that's easy. What I did.
That's what you.
Unless you're trying to question me. No, I'm going 9.4. I really like this. I think
that's good.
In a lot of ways, like I've said on the podcast, I like complexity. I like a lot going on. I like a hub and a what. But this, I feel like, isn't super complex. It really isn't. It doesn't have a lot going on.
Surprisingly not that complex, but it's still good.
But it's like it specializes, right? Like this just hits the right spot perfectly. It's light, it's crisp, it's sweet but not too sweet. Mouthfeel wise, heat level, like it hits in a great way. Like it's 9.4 is where I'm going. So
sweet. I like it. Cheers to Brian Rapp. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Brian. Seriously. Baller.
And guys. Brian, I know you don't have kids, but maybe you could draw something for the next episode.
That's a good point. If you don't have children, go and just draw us a picture.
Draw us a picture. Actually, that reminds me of that time where you sent the picture of like a whiskey bottle. I'm like, oh, Amara did such a great job. You're like, that was me.
Hey, and you were happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're both.
That's all that matters.
Dad love getting pictures. Oh my gosh. I love watching. I love my kids' drawings.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
Cole, is it time to move on?
Why don't you tell us what's coming up right next?
I'm going to tell you real quick. And folks, listen. It's not just your everyday, average, ordinary time for Whiskey World News. It's a special Whiskey World News. And we'll talk a little bit more of that after the Whiskey World News music. And we're back. It's time for one of the most special segments of the show. The most special segment we've ever had when it comes to Whiskey World News. A part of the show where we read an article or two. And we talk about it for a few.
We didn't write them.
But we read them. And my hairline, receding. All right, here we go.
Me too.
Oh, dude, as soon as you have a kid, man, it's like and you have a kid and one bean of caffeine, you're on the road to losing it.
You know what's the worst though? Is that I'm
What?
getting more hair here, but I'm
Oh, up on your
losing it here. Up
dude.
on
Okay,
top.
so
I'm getting that like extra beard hair above where it should be, and then I'm getting
spoiler
less up
alert.
on my receding
Spoiler
hairline.
alert, Cole. Keep an eye on this part of your earlobe right
Oh no.
here. You're gonna get little hairs there soon,
I'm
man.
not ready. I'm not
It's
ready.
so weird.
I remember when I was a kid, and I'm like, what's this hair in my butt crack? I mean, I wasn't a kid. Don't get me wrong. I was like a late teenager. But I'm like, what is this? Yeah. You know, you're like, man, it should be clean down there, but it's mostly clean, I guess. Robby is losing it. That might be the best laugh I've ever gotten from you.
Oh, man. I was not expecting that. All right.
We're real, Robby. That's why people love us, because we're real.
Oh, man. Or hate us. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we're meandering too much.
From the whiskey riff. It's written
my anxiety has dropped at least.
Langler. Oh, man. And it's titled Alan Jackson unveils new signature silver belly bourbon whiskey. Tastes like 90s country music.
Love it.
As long as that 90s country music doesn't taste like a boot in your butt. Here we go.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody and the mother has an alcohol brand of some kind these days. John Party just launched a whiskey. Whiskey Myers just launched a whiskey, but that's a weird couple sentences. Parker McCollum has a wine. George Strait has his delicious Código tequila. It's endless. And now Alan Jackson, Mr. Chattahoochee himself, has officially entered the bourbon game. Named for the color of his legendary silver belly hat, Alan Jackson is gearing up to bring his signature silver belly Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey to market. Created in partnership with Silver Screen Bottling and Company and DSP KY10, each batch number will be tied to one of Jackson's #1 songs. And the first batch, paying homage to his 1990s hit, Here in the Real World. Silver belly, clocked in at 91 proof, aka 45.5% alcohol volume, and we're running about $40 a bottle. The flavor notes here are described as, and that's where we'll stop, because you know what? I have a feeling Cole's going for this. Cole, now we got 2 articles here on a very special Whiskey World News. Keep it quick.
So you know what kind of music I like, Robby. I like a lot of alternative stuff. I like some harder rock. Ooh, ah, 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 ah. I like some softer rock. I like some rock and roll in general. No, I'm kidding. But there's
you like a little bit of country and a little rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing is that I like country music, but I don't like a lot of country music. The only country music I listen to is pre-2000 country music, especially from 1980-ish to 1999. I think after that point, it got a little broy, and then Toby Keith wanted to put a boot in your butt, and that's where it all changed. But I think the title of the article and what Alan Jackson said about it was just perfect for me. And that's why I didn't read the article, but I read the title and I sent it to Robby and I was like, please read this for Whiskey World News. And just because I love 90s country. And here's the reason. Because I grew up on it. There was one station, 92.5 WXTU in Philadelphia that played country music.
Thank you.
The only one we listened to.
Country music in Philadelphia, huh?
Yeah, you don't get a lot but I'm in the South now, and like half the stations are country, but they're like bro country, so it sucks. But yeah, I'm excited, and I thought it was a great idea after you were reading it. A great idea for him to name it after his hit. So I can't wait till I can drink.
That's cool.
Who's Cheating Who, or whatever the song is, and what other Alan Jackson songs do I like? It's that one he worked with. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but I think that might have been post 2000, but we'll find out.
So here's what I'm going to say real quick, and then we got to move on because we got 2 articles this week. Nothing about whiskey, just about country. I rode in Brent Quinton's Ford F-150 and he would always play his country music, and it was always 90s country music, and that's the only country music I like. My opinion is, once they started bedazzling their jeans instead of putting sequins on their jumpsuits,
yeah, come on,
it's not country.
Changed everything.
Frost your tips and bedazzle your jeans. Just wear your tap out shirt, bro.
Rascal
that's where you're
Flats.
going.
Get out of here.
All right. Anyway, next article, which was also sent in. Like, it's very rare that we find multiple articles. But we had 2 articles sent from you and then from our good friend Bryce Marita. But this one, the It's Always Sunny guys just launched their own whiskey.
I love it.
And it comes from The Hollywood Reporter, written by Mikey. Hey, Mikey likes it. O'Connell. Nearly 17 years after Patty's Pub opened its doors, the trio behind the fictional watering hole plan to start selling some booze of their own. The It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia creator stars Glenn Howerton, Rob McElhaney, and Charlie Day have launched their own whiskey brand. But Four Walls is just not another celebrity-backed spirits cash grab. The threesome, whose long-running comedy recently aired its 15th season, plan to donate all proceeds from its limited-run collection to hospitality workers in need. We wanted to create a brand celebrating the 4 walls that have held our favorite memories in and kept our troubles out, said Howerton in a statement announcing the release. We were shooting season 15 when bars were shutting down all across America, added McElhaney. So we decided to source some really great whiskey and create some of it as a tribute to the bar and kick it off by giving back. Profits from both bottles, one a rare Irish whiskey with a premium commemorative packaging, is being pitched for serious whiskey collectors and Sunny fans, with the other, a blended Irish and straight Pennsylvania rye.
I love that.
An Irish was made with bartenders in mind.
Blend.
Go to the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association's HARP, Hospitality Assistance Response of Pennsylvania. We learned just how rare and how collectible old Irish whiskey is today, and we couldn't believe we got our hands on some and wanted to release it and do something for the people and places that do so much for all of us, the bars and bartenders. Those wishing to help out while drinking up should expect to pay. The top shelf bottle of 15-year single-barrel cask Irish strength whiskey with signatures from Howerton, McElhaney, and Day retails for $999. It's only been released in around $755. The 90 proof blend tailored to be consumed neat or in a cocktail goes for $89. A few hundred cases will be released now, and with tastings planned at upcoming live events for the Always Sunny podcast. So, love it. There's our second article. Cole, any thoughts on that one?
Yeah. You've watched Always Sunny?
Yeah.
Have you? Yeah. Yeah, they're funny guys. And as a Philadelphian myself, I don't know if they are, but as a Philadelphian, not everyone's like that and has no morals. But I love the show and it's always funny. What came to mind was is it Charlie? Why am I blanking right now? I know that's his actor name. Like
it's Charlie on the show,
Charlie, right? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
and when he does the Nightman singing, you ever remember that one?
Nightman, fighter of the dark man, or the day
something
man,
like that.
Fighter of the night man. Yeah,
and they have so much to say about that song. It's so funny.
Dude, that's the thing, is that show is so irreverent. Yeah, and you just think to yourself like, oh, I'm glad I'm not watching this with my grandma.
Yeah,
but at the same point, like, it does such a great job of just kind of like the idiocracy thing, where it's like we're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, but it's not overdone. Like I've seen shows where they obviously make the dumb choice every time, and it kind of gets annoying. With Always Sunny, they do a great job of like
they make the
somewhat balancing it.
They make the dumb choice, and then they over-explain why they think that's the best choice.
Yeah, exactly.
And you go, oh, they're just idiots. Yeah, no, great job.
But I remember watching. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think the cool thing about this though is like, man, that's a lot of proceeds. Like, that's a good point. Like,
good
they're giving money back to like
they're not irreverent
that hold us together, and I think like, gosh, that's awesome. So, and Have you listened to their podcast at all?
What is it called? I don't know.
Always
Sunny or something?
It's Always Sunny podcast or something like that. But the
cool.
three of them,
it's
not necessarily about the show,
and we'll have them over.
We should message them and get no response.
Yeah,
or get a response,
or
because that would be the stupidest thing they could do. I don't know. They do, but they're big. We're not.
Yeah, we're minuscule. We didn't even make Uprock's list of 15 best whiskey podcasts.
I tell you what, if Uprock's does,
shout out to John and everyone else.
Related podcast, we're on that one. But no, that's cool.
Exactly.
I think it's awesome.
No, we're number one Bush's Baked Beans podcast.
I will say, if I see a bottle, the cheaper bottle, I will definitely pick up that, because that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Any other thoughts, Cole, before we move on here?
No, let's move it over to our results from last week's What Whiskey Would You Choose?
Now, the funny thing is, you say, let's move over to our results. Like, I should probably already have it ready, but I got so excited about the super...
Let's just make noise until we get there.
Make a noise. Gosh, it is so... Here we go.
Last week's decision, or last week's question.
Last week's question, what bottle do you take off the shelf when your best friends come over? And you were ahead for a while there.
Week. Yeah.
Cole went with Redbreast 12 Cask Strength, and I went with Four Roses Songle Barrel. It's just it was a mistake. It was a mistake. And I won, though. People want the Songle Barrel, 56% to 46%.
Nice.
COVID brain. I had COVID brain, Cole. Had some good write-ins. Bryce Marita, probably new riff, because everybody's a fan. I'm like, you know what? I am so far. Dramhound, whatever bottle they want to try, unless they only take shots. Then they get whatever I don't care for. And that's a good point. Like, there's times where, like, you pour people whiskey and they're just like, you're like, well,
you're getting the crap.
Should give me some Cuervo, I guess. I don't know.
This is the best whiskey. It's called Cuervo.
Joel Linham 19, Joel Bradbury, bunch of freeloaders. Get the cheapest thing I have open.
Joel's a good guy.
He's a good guy. I
love Joel.
I would assume he hangs out with more than just freeloaders, and that was pretty tongue in cheek.
And Dachshunds.
Hence the laughing emoji. Miles Ferguson, Kilted 518. If I have one of the good Arbegs, that's the one I pour.
Like Corvus.
No surprise, he goes for some scotch.
Smoky goodness.
Bro Tascan Ascanosa, our Canadian turtle friend. Nika from the barrel. It's complex and fun, and every whiskey drinker I know
enjoys it. That's a really good point, bro.
I think that's great. And I think that, like, we've talked about that when we had that whiskey. It was like kind of like broaden your horizons kind of whiskey. Where like, you may not like scotch.
Yeah, but you'll like this.
You taste that and you go, maybe I could like scotch. Like,
for sure. It's a entry whiskey, or whatever you call it.
It's the entry drug to scotches.
What is it?
Slippery slope. This is slippery slope.
What's the word?
Slippery slope.
No, but like before we used the Seattles were the
entry drug.
Entry drug. Is that what we use?
Right. Marijuana is the entry drug. That's right.
Drug?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Maybe that's it. We just said entry buzz so often that we forget. And the rear entry buzz. If you know what I'm saying.
Don't search it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some jerk named
Patreon.com/Bald
Bald said anything Songle Barrel. What a jerk. I made a mistake. Brian Rapp, he went with Seagrass. Our good friend Connor from Who Gives a Drum with Melicorn. And then John friggin' Hughes from the Boss Pod said, I showed them the shelf and told them to pick anything. And you know what? I'm coming over to your house,
dude.
Someday I do want to go to John's house. And I just want to take shots of everything.
I won't dox him, but he's in Western Kentucky. We should just meet there. And he came to Virginia and was too busy to hang out with me.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to Virginia. They all want to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Or
why don't you go to Mexico, John? But anyway.
All right. This week.
We have. Did you have something in mind?
I got one for you. I told you I did.
Okay, perfect.
Man, this 114 proof is getting to you. It's either that or that coffee bean. All right, this week, Cole. If you were to collaborate with a celebrity or a show or some sort of like entertainment business person, show, corporation, who do you want to partner with to make a whiskey?
I like this.
Now, this is tricky because it's not necessarily what whiskey would you choose. It's who are you going to partner with to make the best whiskey? Or like market a whiskey. But who are you going to go with, bud?
So I was thinking, first thought was like Billy Corgan. And then I was like, well, maybe he wouldn't be like even though it would sell because there's a big subculture of Smashing Pumpkins fans. And I was like, maybe like someone that's bigger these days, like Terry Crews, who I'm a big fan of. But then I was like, but if I went to like a country person, like that would probably sell the most. Because that's like more believable in my mind as like a whiskey from Alan Jackson, for example.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with I don't know, because I would say like George Strait, but wasn't he the one with the tequila or whatever?
I think George Strait had something.
Yeah, he had something. Who would be great? Let's do like I'm gonna go with final answer is Hugh Jackman. That's huge
Oh.
Ackman. And we'll do huge whiskey with Hugh Jackman.
Oh boy.
And it'll be an Australian single malt because he's Australian, I believe.
Okay. Interesting choice. So
and
I'm
we'll call
gonna
it
go
Wolverine the sequel or something like that. I don't know. But go on.
Oh. See now,
It's great.
folks, this is I just want to point out real quick. This is the quality content you can expect when I just surprise Cole with a what whiskey would you choose.
Yeah.
Typically it's me being like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So my first instinct is I'm gonna go with Paramore. Lenny Kravitz.
Haley Williams.
Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, nice.
And Everclear. And it's going to be called Redundant Rhyming Rye Whiskey. No, not going to do that. No, I'm not doing that because that's full circle. Everything is good. Okay, got it. No, I'm going to go with the Mighty Mighty Bosstones because Boston has a rich Irish heritage of like St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do an Irish whiskey and we're going to age it for like just do the run through of a Bush's Baked Beans cast. And it's going to be the Boston Baked Beans, Bosstones, best bourbon, not bourbon, Irish whiskey ever. That's what I'm calling it.
This.
Yeah. I think
I hope that goes well on the
I hope you're not trying to get me to stop talking.
What? No. I hope that goes well. Like no, not that. No, I hope that is well spread out on the
I don't think what
whiskey would choose Wednesday.
And it's going to be a Songle barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, we didn't even talk about what are we drinking next week?
So before I get to that, real quick, my wife just sent me a text, which I think is something that I would want to bring up.
And
your
water breaks?
No,
no.
I just gotta check something.
Did you get an Audi?
Okay, so I'm gonna no, not yet. That's still to go, and I'll have to get into that later.
Right.
But apparently, have you heard the news from Adam Rostad?
No, what?
My wife hopefully is right because I haven't been able to verify it because apparently it was on Ashley, his wife's post, but they are having a baby.
What?
So big shout out to Adam Rostad and Ashley
for
being future parents.
Well,
so that's
Adam,
exciting.
Hold a crayon up to Ashley's womb and let that baby draw a picture and send it in.
Yes. So for those who know him on the Instas, reach out and say, "Sweet dog, happy for you." Oh, Adam's posted it. Okay. I gotta check. My wife overheard me, and I was like, "Yeah, Adam posted it. Let me look this up." But in the meantime, I will also maybe what the crap is this?
Oh, geez. All right.
Anyway, I'm going to look up what we could drink next week. I'm thinking something
I really
nice.
hope you're accurate because that's a big deal. But it was
no, I sure hope I'm accurate.
Well, I know that I saw that they were heading back to Wisconsin from Colorado.
Oh,
so
cool.
I could see them,
yeah, that's right.
I could see them heading back just to kind of give the family the information. So otherwise, this is a weird edit, and we'll just cut this out. We'll verify. This is just breaking news. Don't quote us. We just read it. We didn't write it. Anyway, what are we drinking next week here, Cole?
So next week, we're going to be between two of our listeners sent in these. And I'm going to go between where did it go? Very old St. Nick, 12-year, which I believe was a Ben Klepsig joint, and then we're going to go between Dalmore 18, which I also think is I believe Dalmore 18 was a Sean Crow or Sean Ciaro, but if it wasn't Sean Ciaro, they were both Ben Klepsig joints. So,
gotcha.
But we'll figure that out by next week.
We'll let you know next week. We got a little discombobulated.
Kind of an interesting ending to this podcast, but I hope our listeners still hung in there with us.
I hope they grant us a little bit of grace here for being such liquor heads, because this wasn't a great pour and it went straight to our heads.
Yeah. And I hope that we have a fun time and we have a fun time. And I hope that writing isn't that redundant. Yeah.
Most of all, listeners, I hope our love of spirits lifted your. It's so weird.
I remember when I was a kid, I'm like, what's this hair in my butt crack?